Welcome to ABC31 News tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. The flu has claimed the lives of at least 6 people in Rapides Parish since October. The latest victim is a child. That is our big story tonight. Cherokee Elementary students and staff are grieving the death of 3rd grader Cadence Meme Brass. She lost a battle to pneumonia. Pneumonia is an infection that usually starts off as the flu.
Recently we've had a pediatric death here in the parish, and first of all our hearts go out to the family because this is a tragic event. There have been 84 pediatric deaths over the United States, and so unfortunately this is not rare in this flu season. The flu, what usually happens is the flu doesn't actually kill people. It really makes them susceptible to a secondary pneumonia, and that pneumonia can, kill them.
Dr. Holcomb says it's not too late to get the flu vaccine. Although it hasn't been highly effective in preventing the flu this year, it can still ease some of the worst symptoms. State Attorney General Jeffrey Landry is recovering from a snowboarding accident in Montana. Spokesman for him acknowledges he had the accident, but says he will be fine. According to the Associated Press, he broke 6 ribs. Landry told the AP he fell after he was caught in whiteout conditions on the mountain. Landry is busy working as he begins his recovery, though. He and Governor John Bel Edwards agreed to coordinate efforts in the state's litigation against opioid manufacturers. Under this agreement, the AG's office will take over primary responsibility for the suit filed by the Louisiana Department of Health. The Attorney General's office will lead efforts with other state agencies and departments to pursue all claims Louisiana has as a result of the opioid crisis. LDH is seeking damages and penalties for the amounts it has paid for excessive opioid prescriptions and treatment costs as a result of those prescriptions. The lawsuit alleges drug companies engaged in fraudulent marketing regarding the risks and benefits of the drugs, which helped fuel Louisiana's opioid epidemic. Louisiana joins dozens of other cities, counties, and states which have filed similar lawsuits. Earlier this week, Governor John Bel Edwards addressed the opening of the special session of the Louisiana legislature.
I know there are a few of you who believe that I should not have called this special session. There are even a couple of you who believe that there is no fiscal cliff. There are some of you who acknowledge that there's a cliff, but you don't want to fix it. Well, you're entitled to your opinions, just like I am. But none of us are entitled to our own math. According to the Revenue Estimating Conference, the amount of the fiscal cliff is $994 million. That represents the current forecast difference of state general fund from this year to next year. For those of you who acknowledge that there is a cliff and propose that the only solution is to make spending cuts, as I've told you before, I can respect that position. I disagree with it, but I can respect it.
Governor Edwards urged lawmakers to fix the state's $994 million budget cliff during this session. Storm chances are sticking around for our Wednesday nights. Meteorologist Ross Whitley is here with a first look.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Heavy rain still a problem out there. We've got flash flood warnings in place, flash flood watches out, and flood warnings in place, as well as earlier today we talked about having a tornado watch in place, and that one expired at 5 p.m. so the severe threat has really wind down and will continue to do so overnight tonight. But thunderstorms aren't out of the picture yet. We talked about 1 to 3 inches of rain by the time it was all done on Friday. Well, that's going to be eclipsed thanks to those heavy thunderstorms that moved through today, picking up 2.3 inches of rain here in Alexandria today, and the heaviest of the rain actually fell just to the west of our area. We did get up to 76 degrees, so another warm day, but it is all about the rain. We will talk a lot more about it, and I'll give you a tour of the radar as we go forward. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Ross. Alexandria police are searching for a 14-year-old Haley Meadows. Police say she is about 6 feet tall with shoulder-length pink and purple hair. She was last seen at the mall and has been in contact with people by Facebook, but her whereabouts are unknown. 2 arrests have been made in separate cases related to employees stealing money from their employers. Carrie Beard is charged in a case that began last April. A business on Jackson Street reported that she stole small amounts of money over an extended period of time. amounting to more than $15,000. Police went to arrest her, but say she disappeared. She surrendered yesterday and was booked into the Rapids Parish Detention Center. And Tiffany Sells is also charged for stealing from a business on MacArthur Drive. Police say last month, Sells was caught on surveillance video stealing items and was terminated the next day. After reviewing their files, business owners determined around $20,000 had been taken by manipulation of gift cards. Sells was arrested yesterday for a separate incident at another business. At that time, she was charged over a warrant from that original theft. A Pineville man is sentenced to 2.5 years in federal prison for using an online storage site to house child porn. 26-year-old Brandon McNamara will also be required to register as a sex offender. A prisoner at the federal facility in Pollock was sentenced to 2 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter. 53-year-old Lee Adams of California is accused of killing another inmate by knocking him to the floor, causing him to hit his head and later die. And a federal prisoner in the Pollock facility pleads guilty to possession of a knife. 40-year-old Eric Judy Blair was caught in a random metal detector search. A local high school senior, Nancy Tejada, has been honored with the President's Volunteer Service Award. That award recognizes Americans of all ages who have volunteered a significant amount of time to serve the communities and their nation.
I was just very honored, and it was just an amazing achievement. I've done buddy camp for 1 year, but 2 sessions, and then Catholic Harbor Camp, which is a missionary organization in the United States, and I've done it for 6 years. I plan to go to LSU and major in mass communication, and I really got the idea of mass communication because of all the service I've done, because I found out I like to be around people, and it's just it made me realize I want to help people.
Nancy's also spent time as a junior high school leader at Our Lady of Prompt Succor, volunteering at both the Manna House and Food Bank of Senla, among other various projects. Holy Savior Menard nominated her for national honors this fall in recognition of all of her volunteer service. Well, this afternoon, some folks were grabbing a benefit lunch for Bark. Bark is a no-kill shelter in Alexandria. Through the efforts of Bark staff and volunteers, thousands of dogs and cats have been rescued and placed with loving owners. This Friday, the Arts Council of Central Louisiana will have a screening of the film Deej. The film is part of this year's Southern Circuit Tour of independent filmmakers.
This is a very interesting and a very great film about a topic that's very important right now. The story's about an autistic kid and the things he has to go through in life as a non-speaking autistic to gain acceptance, and the things he overcomes and the way he's able to build his life is quite amazing.
The screening of Deej will take place this Friday, February 23rd, at the Gem in downtown Alexandria. You can visit the Arts Council of Central Louisiana website to get tickets and learn more.
To catch a killer, you gather the evidence.
There's blood on the screen.
And build a picture-perfect case.
One of you stabbed her 12 times.
Hold on, there, FBI.
Bones Weekends.
Weekends on KLAX TV.
Well, at the current moment, we're getting a little respite from the rain here in Alexandria. 76 degrees and cloudy out there. That dew point at a nasty 69, so very close to that absolutely gross category. That's feeling humid out there. There's just a lot of water in the air, and that's because a frontal boundary has moved in just off to our north here at 76. But as you go further north, it is colder, and that actually will turn to a warm front tomorrow. Of course, we'll talk all about that more as we go through this forecast. The wind out of the south at about 18 miles per hour. The pressure pretty steady around 30 inches. And we got a lot of radar to show you, so we'll get right to it. A stalled frontal boundary slowly sinking to the south, and you can pick it out pretty easily here between the reds and the greens. The oranges indicating temperatures in the 70s, the greens indicating temperatures in the 60s or colder, and then the blue back here, that's 30s or colder. And of course, you can pick out the freezing rain happening just north of Dallas and Fort Worth area. Not expecting any of that because this is going to sink south and then back northward. But that heavy rain still just off to our west. Shreveport's been in it all day. We've had these little thunderstorms move through, and part of this complex that's moving through Jackson, really what brought us the heaviest of rain the last several hours. And of course, we have a flash flood warning still out for Rapides and Vernon parishes. That goes until midnight tonight. So if you see water running across a roadway, do not attempt to drive across it. You do not know the road condition that is under that water. You do not know how deep that water is or how fast that water is moving. And therefore, you will likely end up not on the road if you try to cross water that is, or a road that has water moving over the top of it. So it's best to just turn around, don't drown. That's what we like to say in these kind of situations. Flooding kills more people than any other phenomenon out there weather-wise. So flooding is a serious thing. We have a flash flood watch still out for the same parishes, Rapides and Vernon. That of course includes the city of Alexandria. That goes through tomorrow at noon time. And the reason why, well, plenty of rain's already fallen. We've picked up about 2.5 inches here, over 2.5 inches in Leesville, Natchitoches about 2.5 inches, Shreveport over 2.5 inches of rain, and there's plenty more to come as we look at future radar starting it off around 8 o'clock tonight. We'll put this in motion for you, and you see that stationary boundary sliding to the south, and then you notice that moisture starts to creep back to the north as we go into the day. Tomorrow, about 4:30 a.m. as we get into the 8 a.m. hour, that band lifts back northward and heavy rain over the same areas that we've already seen it today. So what to expect? Well, more rain and thunderstorms tonight, another inch possible, nearly another inch for the day tomorrow, another inch possible again as we head into Friday, and then just some passing showers for the day on Saturday. Our extended forecast remains wet and active, even if after we clear out this system, we have more rain to talk about going into next week. Scott?
All right, thank you, Ross. Equifax is being urged to extend the timeline of its free credit monitoring service and identity theft protection for at least 3 years. Equifax has offered up to 1 year of those protections following its massive data breach last year. Lawmakers, though, say that's not enough. The company fired back, saying it has a free service that allows customers to lock or unlock their credit file. Getting a new iPhone battery can take weeks, and Amazon's founder just put millions into a 10,000-year clock. Jane King is at the NASDAQ market site with those stories and more in today's Tech Reports.
Some people across the country are reporting that they're having a tough time getting their iPhone batteries replaced. This is part of Apple's battery replacement program that came after it admitted it slowed down older iPhones to preserve the batteries. The Los Angeles Times says people are reporting long waits, dropped customer service calls, and hard to get appointments. Well, Google has rolled out another mobile payment service. Google rolled out Google Pay. It brings together the tech giant's two payment apps, Google Wallet and Android Pay, into one service. Broadband speeds in the U.S. are slower than almost any other country. Statistica says that based on data from OpenSignal, the speed of an average broadband download in the U.S. is below that of Croatia, Lithuania, and South Korea. The place with the fastest broadband in the world is Singapore. And Amazon founder Jeff Bezos funding the construction of a $42 million clock in the West Texas desert. It's designed to keep time for millennia. The clock is buried 500 feet into a mountain, and it's designed to keep time for 10,000 years. Bezos has invested in projects that plan beyond our lifetimes. From the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, I'm Jane King with your Tech Report.
ABC31 KLAX, the exclusive provider of ABC programming in Central Louisiana. We are the only station where you can watch new, first-run ABC programs like Dancing with the Stars, Designated Survivor,
Strike the enemy.
Grey's Anatomy.
Rays can deliver.
Damn right.
Hi, I'm Michael Bailey. Call me at the number on the screen. See how easy and affordable television advertising can be.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nick Frank. The NSU track and field teams are set to compete at the Southland Conference Indoor Championships this week. The men have finished in the top 5 in 4 of the last 5 years. But Coach Hireman says Demons are aiming much higher this season.
We're on a high note right now. Both men's and women's programs. I couldn't be more happier than where we're setting going into the meet. So you know, we're going in there to hopefully battle for a conference title on both genders. It's going to be a close race on one more than the other, but you know, that's why we have the championships, because you can go in there and compete, and anybody's got a shot, and I really like our chances.
The NSU softball game that was scheduled for today against UT Arlington has been postponed because of rain. No makeup date has yet been set. Lady Demons will now take its 8-game winning streak to Texas Tech on Friday for a 3-game series.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Love, marriage,
My husband was wonderful.
and murder.
Cheryl, I know what he is capable of, and I just don't want to be dead.
True stories without a happily ever after.
Is she okay? She's dead?
Who does that?
It's about as evil as it gets.
I like to report a murder.
All smiles while she was still on the scene of her husband's murder.
How do you explain that?
All this February, Love Gone Wrong. Crime Watch Daily.
Weekdays at 3 on KLAX TV.
This February, Dr. Oz holds their feet to the fire. Scammers, sex offenders, big business.
Nothing more than junk food in disguise.
Investigating controversies, exposing the truth.
Do you know where your hamburger meat really comes from?
I've taken Uber many times, and I just remember thinking, am I gonna die tonight?
Nothing is off limits.
Watch Dr. Oz weekdays at 11 on KLAX TV.